no stranger to beating the odds, and it looks like Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway could report its best quarter in at least 2 years tomorrow. Bloomberg reporter Eric Holm follows Mr. Buffett and his company. Joins us now with more details. So, why are people who watch Berkshire so sure that the company is going to have a really good quarter when they report tomorrow?
It's a couple things. First one is the stock portfolio. And when we're talking about the stock portfolio, we're talking about the effect that it'll have on book value, not on net income. But he owns shares of American Express and Wells Fargo, which both were up more than 70%. He's the largest shareholder in those.
Right.
He's got a lot of Goldman Sachs shares, a lot of Burlington Northern. So those things all did really well. He also has these derivative bets, which are essentially insurance against market declines. He sold them, so when the market falls, they potentially in the future will owe more money. And every quarter, he sort of has to let you know how those are doing, and that affects net income and book value.
All right, so a lot of things going on, and a lot of it seems to be positive,
Yeah.
Eric. I mean, will this, at this point, cause Berkshire Hathaway shareholders to kind of breathe a sigh of relief? As you know, you and I have talked about those derivatives contracts. He got a lot of heat for taking those on.
He did, and it's easy to look at the markets and realize which direction they're headed now. But the stock fell a lot earlier this year,
right.
When essentially it seemed that people didn't really believe him when he said, don't worry about it. Because remember, these don't pay out. He doesn't actually put out cash until 2019 or later if he's wrong.
Yeah.
But as the markets were falling, you know, the Berkshire stock was falling as well, and this might provide some solace.
What's cool about those contracts, he's got the cash to play with, right?
Exactly. He gets to invest that cash, so that sort of goes on top of the $5 billion or so that he was paid to take these bets.
All right, let's talk about some key metrics in
Sure.
terms of how Buffett likes to measure his company's success, book value.
Right. He says in what he calls his owner's manual on the website that he gives you book value, and actually it's the first line in his annual letter to shareholders, book value, because it's the best objective measure of the company's performance. It's closest to what he calls intrinsic value,
okay.
which is actually what he prefers, but it's subjective. He says people can disagree on that. So that's what he likes to look at, and what some folks who watch the stock pay attention to.
All right, good to know. Big company, as you know, you follow it very closely. A lot of moving pieces there. Anything in terms of the release and the company that could kind of weigh down the results?
Well, those aren't the only derivatives he has. He also has derivatives where they lose money when corporate bonds default, and that hasn't done as well as the stock markets. He also owns NetJets, which is a aviation company.
Big story yesterday.
Yeah, exactly, and that hasn't done great, or didn't do great in the first quarter. That probably continued. He also owns jewelry businesses, home building. All these things aren't doing great in the recession.
All right, so we'll watch for those as well in terms of how they impact it and play it out. Eric, thank you as always. We appreciate it. Bloomberg News is Eric Holm breaking down the latest in Berkshire. Just a reminder, Berkshire will report those earnings on Friday after the it's after the closing bell, right? They usually come pretty late. All right, got it.